Hi, my name is Annie Von Essen, for those of you who don't know me. And I wanted to offer something today that I've been thinking about. I've done a few videos and some writing about connections, essential human connections, the way to continue to foster connections. And that, alongside a few weeks of changing plans and lots that we're having to kind of adjust and readjust over here in our house, have had me thinking about the connection between this idea of our connections and joy. Joy is a really important thing, word, idea in my life, and something that I bring into my work a lot, even my work with the business world and the nonprofit world and institutions. Whether they know it or not, I actually am bringing this concept of joy into space. Joy being, for me, well, I'll use like a dictionary definition first that I appreciate. The Merriam-Webster dictionary calls joy a feeling of delight. So that definition really works for me. I distinguish joy differently than happiness, where happiness feels very transient, ever-changing, or this thing you're maybe striving for, you're like setting things up for. For me, joy feels like something that's accessible and it's always present. It's something I have been able to find and tap into even when things are really difficult in my life. And it's something that I've seen other humans in some of the hardest times and moments in their life. I've seen them both in deep pain, still finding joy, still being able to find a sense of wonder or a sense of delight, or this new thing that I've been thinking about with joy, a sense of connection. Finding a connection to another person, to another group of people, feeling that support, feeling that reflection of humanness, and in that being able to kind of come to maybe a calm joy, a connected joy. So in thinking about this, I've started, paying attention to this idea of joy and connection. And so I've noticed, oh yes, most of the time when I'm tapping into joy, when I'm tapping into a sense of delight or a sense of wonder, it's also coming from connection. It's either coming from connection between myself and another person or a group of people. It's coming from connection to nature, to being outside, to being near water, to taking a walk. It's connection to plants, to other animals, to my cat, or even connection to myself, slowing down enough to have those, oh, there you are, Annie, moments, even when things are a little wild, and having that touch with myself and knowing, oh, there's still something in me, there's still this glimmer, there's still this humanness, and really being able to experience joy through one of those kinds of connection. And so then I start to think of, well, I love a question. I love a prompt, because I think prompts are so helpful to then be able to hold on to like a thought or an idea and figure out what you need in any different moment or what a group needs. So my question for you is, what do you need to connect to now? What do you need to connect to now? And you could expand that to be, what do you need to connect to now to feel joy? What do you need to connect to now to feel joy? And interestingly, I used my connections. I use some groups that I'm a part of. See how I did that? I used some groups that I'm a part of and asked a question around joy to get a list of different ideas, get a creative list of different ideas of how to really tap into joy or build joy even when things are difficult. And so I asked folks, what brings you joy, or what do you do? How do you build joy in when things are really hard, when you're in a really difficult moment? And amazing ideas came, and things that I'd never thought of, and things that are real for me, and things that aren't what I would use. But it's this really cool list, and I'm gonna include it. I'll include it in a link here. Some of the things that came up: retreat into nature, go to water, go to the forest, be near trees. So that connection to nature came up for folks. Cook with friends, call a friend, text a friend, laugh with a friend, dance alone, dance with family, dance with friends, go fishing, run, go outside without anybody else and walk. So I saw again and again this in this really amazing list of different ideas, ways that people were using connection to their senses, to other people, to themselves, to the natural world around them, to an experience, to then be present to a feeling of delight, maybe a kind of grounded feeling of it's okay, and I'm human, and there's still something in here. There's still that glimmer, and I can have both. I can have that glimmer. I can quiet down enough to have that glimmer, and at the same time be in whatever I'm in. So for those of you who follow me, who know me, only on the work side of things, only on the professional side of things, this might feel a little bit personal. And I would encourage, if you're feeling that, to think about how you could use this in your work, or how you could use this in your leadership or in your work with teams. So how are you fostering space for connection in the way that you work, in the way that you've structured your time as a team? And how are you fostering space for joy in the way that you work, in the way that you support each other, in the way that you've structured your time, in the way that you run a Zoom meeting, right? These pieces, these elements can be put into play in your work, even in the hardest of problem-solving work that you're up to and that you're doing, even when the work that you're doing is really important and really serious, and there are people's well-being and lives at stake. There are ways to make sure that you are feeling connected to your own sense of joy, and those on your team are feeling connected, and you're bringing in a sense of delight when you can, when it's the right time, into the space that you all have that together when you're a team. So I encourage you, maybe take this prompt, take this question with you into your day. Maybe take a moment and ask yourself again, what do you need to connect to now? What do you need to connect to now to feel a little bit more joy? And then see if you can use this also in support of the other people in your life. I hope you are able to tap into some moments of joy and some connection, no matter how big or small the things that you're working on and tackling are. Thanks so much.